Hey everybody, if you followed me for our 30 for 30s, I really appreciate it. I hope your prayer life has increased or has started. I pray you've seen answers to prayer. That's the whole reason I was doing them, was to encourage you. In fact, along those lines, what we've decided to do now is what we're calling midweek lifts. Every week, I'm going to post a midweek video clip like this to encourage you in your faith in God. Today, I was going to start on a completely different topic, but in my morning prayer time, I opened up a chapter, Luke chapter 18, and it begins with this. Verse 1 says, "And Jesus told them a parable about how he wants everybody to always pray and never lose heart." So today, I'm going to talk to you about persistence pays off. You know, in that parable, it's so interesting. He talks about an unjust judge who does not fear God and does not respect people. And he talks about a widow who begs the judge to give him justice. Now, unfortunately, I've heard this taught before where it's equated that God is the unjust judge who doesn't respect people and that you and I are the begging widows, when actually it's just the opposite of what Jesus was teaching. You know, it's just our fallen nature, our sin consciousness, our sense of unworthiness that identifies with things in the Bible that are actually supposed to give us hope, but we interpret them to put us down. So, in the Bible, when Jesus gives parables, you got to know this. There are parables of contrast and parables of comparison. In other words, a parable of comparison would be like the kingdom of God is like a farmer's field. Contrast would be like God is not an unjust judge who does not respect people, and you and I are not begging widows. That's a parable of contrast. And what Jesus is saying is, if an unjust judge would listen to a begging widow, how much more would a just God who loves his children listen to his sons and daughters when they cry out to him? That's what he's trying to say to you and I. And what Jesus is saying is, if you will pray and not quit, if you will continue to call to God for the things that you most deeply desire, two things are going to happen. You're not going to lose heart in your heart about life, even like what's going on in our world today. If you are consistently praying on a daily basis, God's going to fill your heart with hope and with faith and with peace and with joy, even in the midst of trials and suffering. He also says if you'll continue to pray about the things you're believing God for, eventually you're going to get answered prayer. It may not look exactly like what you want it to look like, but it's going to be God's answer, and God's answers are always the best. So I want to encourage you to do what Jesus said. Continually pray, even over the same things, and you won't lose heart. And God's going to respond to you, and he's going to make it even better than you can imagine, because that's who our God is. So this has been your midweek lift, and I pray for you the same way Jesus did. Always pray and don't give up. I'll see you next time.